Welcome back. This is Amy Sluss from Fabulous to be Female, and this is part 2 of a 3-part video series that's for parents of preteen and teen girls. I think it's awesome to be a woman, and I'd love to help you spread that attitude and that love to your daughters. Growing up female is challenging. Parenting a preteen and a teen daughter is challenging. I've been working with moms and girls for almost 2 decades, helping them learn about and appreciate all the intricacies of being female. Our bodies, our emotions, our complex relationships, and even our hormone swings. Yep, it's a fact of our lives, and one that I can help you and your daughter navigate and even celebrate. Thank you for joining me, and thank you to all of you who shared, emailed me, and commented following the first video segment that came out just a few days ago. Your comments are all appreciated and so valuable. Because some of you don't know me, and because some of you didn't see video number 1, this is me. I'm Amy Sluss. I've been teaching growing up female events for over 18 years. And in video number 1, we covered some important information. In this series, Raising a Confident Daughter, we first talked about some of the challenges our girls face and how their self-confidence lowers considerably between the ages of 9 and 14. Being a girl today is hard. Parenting a girl today is hard. But remember, you don't need to do it alone. There are lots of opportunities for you to learn and to join up with other families to bolster your daughter. We love our girls. And the culture that makes it difficult for girls is strong. But I want you to remember that we are also culture. When we gather together into groups, we form a network of people, a subculture, and we too are powerful. There's never been a more supportive time to raise a girl. We need to do our part. We need to participate. In particular, we need to help her boost her self-confidence. We need to help her retain her voice. And we need to figure out how to help her understand that she's amazing and beautiful. We covered in the last video the 3 steps to boosting self-confidence. The 3 E's: educate, empower, and embrace. If you didn't see that video, I suggest you go back and watch it. Briefly, we need to teach our daughters everything that school doesn't teach them about life, which is a lot. We can empower our daughters by giving them hands-on activities to do, have them get involved, figure things out, make mistakes, try again. And embrace, we have to embrace her for who she is and help her learn about herself and begin to appreciate who she is. In this video, we're going to be focusing on strengthening the mother-daughter bond. This is probably the most gratifying part of the work that I do, and it surprised me. I didn't set out to do this. The first time I did a growing up female event, we were getting together to teach the girls. They were uncomfortable with some of their body changes, and we wanted to cover that content. My daughter's Girl Scout troop leader asked me to do a session for the girls, and because it was a sensitive subject, we invited the mothers to come. That turned out to be one of the best parts of it. Another group heard of it, wanted to do a mother-daughter event for their group, and these events were born, and mothers have just demanded that they continue. The mother-daughter bonding, the shared experience, has turned out to be really important. Over the years, I have come to learn over and over again how important the family bond is as glue for the teen years. Bonding with your daughter is easier than the popular culture makes it seem, and you don't have to be perfect. I don't want you to try to be perfect, but you do need to show up and do something. I like to think of the things a mother does to strengthen the mother-daughter interactions as sort of a recipe. Like when you make soup, there are essential ingredients, but there's a lot of room for variation. There's no particular order, but all of these are essential ingredients. Add them together in various amounts. Shared experience, open communication, a healthy ratio of positive to negative interactions, fun, forgiveness, affirmations. Just like in a soup pot, we cook it for a long period of time. Simmer it on low. Every family's going to do it a little bit different, and every support network around a girl is different for each girl. So therefore, each pot of soup is going to turn out looking differently. You have to figure out the ingredients and the amounts that are best in your family. Let's look at these components one by one. Shared experience. Find something that you like to do. It can be anything that you both enjoy. It's essential that your daughter enjoys the activity. You have to engage in it somewhat regularly, so make the commitment. You can mix it up with other people, but you need to make sure you get some one-on-one time. My eldest liked music, crafts, and social activities. She did flute lessons. We went to recitals together. She was in band in high school. I got involved with the band parent group, and my daughter enjoyed that I was there with her. We did crafts together. It seemed pretty straightforward. My younger daughter was completely different. She liked animals. She liked being in nature. She liked digging in the dirt. She liked to figure out how things worked, so she took things apart. She liked science. So that required me to get involved with her in different ways. Some things that are good for all mothers and daughters, live events like plays, musicals, going to festivals together, just the two of you, where you can poke your noses around from booth to booth, maybe get something fun to eat. Go to places where you can be delighted and surprised together. Live events create that kind of an atmosphere, which is usually pretty fun. The next component, open communication. This one often gets blocked in the teen years. It takes effort. And most of the time, there will be stops and starts where you feel successful and then unsuccessful, and then maybe a little bit of success. But you have to be persistent. Your daughter needs you to keep the communication lines open. She may not do it. You're going to have to figure out which tricks you can use to talk about some of the tougher or sensitive subjects. Again, every family is different. You might have those sensitive talks in the car at night when you don't have to look at each other. You might have those sensitive talks when you're standing in the kitchen doing dishes. Figure it out. You have to figure out how to create talk time in today's world. Families are so busy. If we don't do it deliberately, we don't have any talk time at all. I like to recommend to families that they make car time non-electronic time, a no electronics zone. No texting on the cell phones, no listening to music on personal devices. You can listen to music together because then you can talk about it, you can sing, you can interact. But if you put the electronic devices away in the car, that creates a time when you can talk. The same goes for dinner time. Sit together at mealtime and make that an electronics-free zone. That means no TV. Nobody sends text messages during meals. Learn to let go of your anxieties. A lot of the communication problems that crop up between mothers and daughters in the teen years are because mom is worried about something. Mom is anxious. You've seen something that scares you. Those anxieties come through in your communications, and your daughter sees them or feels them, and it will shut her down. So take a deep breath when you're feeling anxious, when you want to nag her about something, or when you're feeling negative. Take a deep breath and try to figure out if there's something that you can let go of that's making you feel anxious, so that your daughter will actually be open to your communicating with her. A healthy ratio of positive to negative interactions. Too many negative interactions will cloud your whole relationship with your daughter. No one wants to be around somebody who's negative all the time, or even 80% of the time. If you think about the Peanuts character, Pigpen, he had that big cloud of dirt that followed him around. He wasn't a particularly negative person, but if you can imagine that a cloud of negativity follows us around when we are giving our children too many negative comments, and negative interactions, they see us coming and they think negativity. I found myself having to deal with this one in a way that made me really uncomfortable, because when I learned about the ratio, which should be 5 positives for every negative interaction, I looked at myself and I found out that I was doing it completely backwards. At the time, I was parenting 3 children, and I found myself one morning saying, "Hurry up! Come on, you need to eat breakfast now. Pick up your homework or you're going to forget it again. The bus is going to be here any minute and you're going to miss it." I had spit out 5 negatives without even 1 positive. It was awful when I really saw myself. And it took a lot of effort for me to turn it around. My first step was to keep my mouth closed and just be quiet. It reminded me of in the movie Bambi, when Thumper repeats his mother's advice, "If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all." That's what I did. That was my first step. I'll tell you, this is one piece of guidance that has been pivotal for many families. I've heard back from them. Even girls have told me that this has been really valuable for them and for their family life. So now I'm sharing it with you. By the way, it works with husbands and friends too. And I was able to turn my interactions around. I don't know that I even do 5 positives for every negative today, but I still work at it with the people that I'm close to, my kids, even though they're all adults, my husband, my friends, and it does make a difference. The next ingredient is fun. Find a way to laugh together. It doesn't matter what the pleasurable activities are. Find them. You could go to shows. Maybe you like to read the comics together. Maybe you like to listen to comedians. Animals are a great way to share fun, especially kittens and puppies. Young children help. Being out in nature is really fun and enjoyable for some people. You can always try an occasional body care splurge, a spa, or go up to Calistoga and get a mud bath together. Just some ideas. One thing for our family, we had pets. We always had at least 1 cat, and there would be kittens that would come and go in the household, and they really made us laugh together. We also had some clean comedians that we enjoyed together and we would listen to regularly. There are lots and lots of ways to have fun. I suspect you have plenty of those, or you can think of some. The next ingredient is forgiveness. And again, I suspect you've learned a lot about forgiveness in your parenting up to this point. Many of us need to really work on this one during the teen years. You have to model forgiveness. You have to do your own internal work. And you need to show your daughter how to let go and move on. I learned the most about forgiveness from my second child, Lisa. She stepped over the line every chance she had. Even when she was a tiny little baby, she cried every time we strapped her into the car seat. We lived in northwestern Wisconsin, and it would be 18 below zero, and we would be outside. She would be taking off her hat and her mittens and her scarf and her boots and her socks. And she was exhausting for me. She broke things. She bit us. She would get over one stage, and then there would be another. In high school, her attitude was sullen. I had to learn forgiveness. My mantra became, love her, love her, love her. Return to love. Return to love. Amy, return to love. And it worked, but it was a lot of work. The next ingredient is affirmations. These are positive statements that we say to ourselves, either out loud or internally in our heads. Sometimes these positive statements don't feel true at first, but they can become true with repetition. Practice them yourself and teach your daughter how to use them. You can look for lyrics from today's music and find positive statements there. Those are really great to use because your daughter probably knows the artists and will find the music or understand the music that piece is in. You can post affirmations on the refrigerator. You can say them out loud. One problem with affirmations is that when we as adult women use them, we tend to do so in private. We need to become more comfortable with doing these things out loud deliberately so our girls will hear us. Remember, we're a model to her, whether we like it or not. She's watching, she's listening. Make that into a positive. This is what it can look like. When you're looking in the mirror, getting ready to go somewhere, putting on your lipstick or touching up your hair, you can look at yourself and say, looking okay today. Or, smile, Amy. It looks better that way and makes you feel better. You go for it. You can say things like, oh, I can do it. Oh, wait, I made a mistake. I'm going to do this again. I know I can get it right. I can do this. Those are all little affirmations. Turn some of that internal dialogue to external so that your daughter can hear you. It's a wonderful way to model that positive behavior. You get to customize this recipe. You can vary the amounts of the ingredients, but you can't leave out essential ingredients. It doesn't work. The soup won't be hearty. It won't be good. Do add your own touches. Some that I thought of: trips, rituals, traditions. Our family, we had a trip that was sacred to us as family. We did the trip every summer. It gave us something to look forward to plan for, to talk about, and to remember. We still have pictures today to look at, and we have lots and lots of stories that we've collected over the years. This is an incredibly bonding sort of activity to do as family. Rituals and traditions are powerful too. My family practiced a lot of those. They're easiest for most families to use around birthdays or holidays because it seems like a natural time to do some certain types of traditions. You probably have some of these already. They're pretty easy to establish. All you have to do is do something a couple of times, and if your kids like it, they're likely to accept it as a tradition, and they can be very, very bonding over the years. This is a long-term strategy. We can create a positive environment together. You don't have to do this all on your own. I'm not asking you to be a perfect parent. I don't even want you to try to be a perfect parent. It's not helpful. There are lots of people we can enlist to assist us in our job as mom. Dads are great. Matter of fact, I've worked with numerous dads who did not have a mother figure in the household or even close by to help raise their daughter. Dads can pick up a lot of this stuff. Grandparents are wonderful, aunts, step-parents, close friends, family, extended family, camp counselors, teachers, coaches. You can think of more. Ask for their help and tell them why you need it. You may be surprised at how easy it is to get grandma or grandpa or Aunt Susie to share a story. You just tell them, I'm worried about Mandy. She's been so down lately. Would you take her out on a fun date? Will you talk to her a little bit about how you build yourself up when you feel down? Maybe tell her about those couple years when you were in high school, when you were really struggling. Could you do that for me? Most family members will say yes. Most of these other folks on this list will say yes. This recipe for parenting, I learned from parenting myself, not parenting me, but parenting my children, and from doing the Growing Up Female events. I know the recipe works. These are particularly strong parts of my events that I do with mothers and daughters, and I hear back from participants about the value they get out of these ingredients all the time, especially the part of being together. Community is extremely powerful. Anytime you get a group of girls together, you gather other adult women, and you do positive activities, you become a great community for her. You will always be a very important role model for your daughter. As we tie up the second video, we can reflect back and remember that we have 3 main strategies to build confidence: educate her, empower her, embrace her for who she is. And now we have a recipe of things to do, ingredients, to keep a close bond between you and your daughter. In the next video, we're going to talk about one of the most challenging issues today, and that is body image. I have saved the most challenging for last. But I'm again positive that we can do this. I feel good about it. It will take community to tackle the body image issue, but we are capable, and there are plenty of women who are available to help. I see parenting as a sacred trust. You have a very important role, and I send you my best. I believe in you. I'm here to help you, and I will keep you and your daughter in my heart and in my prayers. Please do me a favor. Click the comment button below and share your thoughts, your insights, your struggles. We are all in this together, building up girls. Your comments and questions may help someone else. So tell us what works best for you to stay close to your daughter. And then please share this video with your friends, your neighbors and relatives, anyone who's raising a daughter. I'll be back real soon with video 3, so stay posted.